Alright, got my finger taped up. So you tape up a finger for a pulley sprain. You just tape around the joint to reinforce that band of tendon that wraps around the finger. I got my hand good and warmed up, and I'm generally speaking pretty warmed up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work dips instead of bench press because I can't really grip the bar that hard with my right hand because of this pulley sprain. So every time I try to bench, my hand just starts slipping out on the bar. So I think I'm just going to do dips instead for about a month until the sprain heals up, and just do a last warm up set in order to see which shoulder is staying high. Because I always keep one shoulder high, but I always forget which one it is. All right, let's see how those look. All right, right shoulder was a little bit high, so I'm going to focus on keeping my right shoulder low. Do another quick warm up set, see how that looks. See if I can get my shoulders even. All right, let's ease into these nice and slow with some 45-pound weighted dips. All right, plate and a quarter. So that's interesting. I'd forgotten what the strength curve on dips was. I want to check my form and see if I was actually going down all the way. I'm pretty sure I was, but I'm having to keep my legs straight to avoid hitting that stool back there. And that's a bit different than the heels up form I was using previously. So, but I think I might be able to move up to 2 plates. I think I'll have to check the footage to be sure. Well, last set looked good, so I think I'll try 2 plates. But I might go down into the hole and just bail out. I might only do 1 rep, or I might do a whole bunch of reps, just doomed to failure. I don't know. Depends on how it feels, how comfortable it is. Now, again, you want to ease into weighted dips, nice and slowly. Otherwise, you could, injure something. Come on. Felt pretty good. All right. I could do more, but I think I'll hold off at a 2 plate. Yeah, I think I'll hold off at a 2 plate dip. I think I'll go weigh myself now and find out just how much that is. 205 pounds on the nosy. So, plus that 95 pounds is a 295-pound dip. I think tomorrow I might add a 10 to that, or maybe just a 5. Just go for a single, maybe try for a double, something like that. But yeah, I think that'll be my new exercise, new main exercise for now while I'm recuperating my finger. So now I think I'll just bang out body weight for reps. Oh, 19, not bad. Yeah, I just ran out of steam. It's always a good idea to film your workouts. Nowadays, where everybody has a camera in their pocket all the time, it's really useful. For instance, pretty sure I just got 20 reps. I thought I counted 19. Anyway, I'm gonna try some pull-ups. I know from experience that when I have these type of sprains, if I tape my finger up real good, I can usually do pull-ups all right. Well, there's a few. It's real important when you, whenever you injure a tendon like that, with a sprain or something in the tendon, that you don't put too much pressure on it, but you do want to work it back and forth. Tendons don't have any vascularization, any blood supply. The only time they get nutrients is when they're moving back and forth. That old thing they used to tell you, rice, rest, ice, compression, something else, I don't know. That's a load of nonsense. Nowadays, you get a knee replaced or a hip replaced. The second that surgery is done, they immediately start that joint moving to get nutrients flowing in and out of that area. So, yeah, giving it a little bit of work, and finger's feeling all right. It's feeling better. Swelling is going down a little bit. So, yeah, some cats going nuts. But yeah, I should be good in about a month. So, what is the correct way to bench press? Is it with a wide grip, just going it down to the nipple line, or going to the throat, or doing it with a narrow grip, pressing it to your face, pressing it way down to your belly? Million ways to do a bench press. And you'll see some bodybuilders, they'll say, oh yeah, all those forms are valid. It just depends on what you want to work. But then when it comes to, say, squats, oh no, there's only one way to squat. And that's with your heels together and shoving your knees way forward. If you get a good wide stance and you hinge way over at the hips, that's the wrong way to squat. It's not a variation, But then again, in the real world, if you want to pick something big up off the ground, you have to straddle it with a wide stance, hinge your hips way over, wrap your arms around it, and lift it up. You got wide stance squats, sumo deadlifts. Oh, that's the wrong way to lift. All right, time for some working sets. Yeah, I'm getting a much better stretch on those throughout all the whole posterior chain than I ever did doing narrow stance ATG squats. And the posterior chain, that's where all your power comes from. You know, if you're shoving into something, hips. Throwing a punch, hips. If you're throwing a baseball, throwing a football, all that comes from your hips. So very important muscles to work if you want to be good at stuff. Good pump, good stretch all throughout the hips. And a good pump in my quads too. Elbows feeling a lot healthier. One thing I've noticed is that my bicep tendon on the left side seems to be expanding. On the right side, it's weird. I don't know when this happened, but instead of having just a single strip of bicep tendon, it's like the bicep tendon is split and spread all the way across to there. Something I've only seen in arm wrestlers. Their bicep tendons tend to do that. It's happening on my left side too. I always thought my left side would just, stay like that. I always thought it was some sort of, I don't know, weird thing about how my bicep was constructed on my right side. But I'm thinking that that type of weird way my tendon works might somehow be related to how you use your bicep. I don't know, maybe the tendon kind of stretches and pulls and changes its angle over time. Anyways, it's interesting. So strength is largely neurological. The average man benches between 135 and 185 without training, and only uses about 30% of all their muscular force at one time. So if you kind of do the math on that, somebody gets to 90, 100, 90, 95, 100% of the force they can produce. That's around 450, 500 pounds. And yet there are people who can bench press more than that. There have been people who can bench press more than that ever since people started bench pressing. So, where does that extra strength come from? I've always thought maybe the size of the muscle kind of affects the leverage on the bones. I've always kind of wondered if maybe extreme training over a long period of time can change the attachment point of a tendon in order to give you more leverage. There's always the hypothesis that humans can add more contractile units to their muscles, but I don't think that's ever been proven. Anyways, just things to think about. situated in my hands real nice. As long as pressure's on that tendon holding it in place, it's not really that bad. But you know, as soon as it slips down the joint, oof. Still, got to give it a little bit of work. Oh, speaking of strong shoulders, I'll just grab this and bang out a quick set over here and press. All right, push-up time. Everybody loves push-up time. Let's get some good push-ups done. All right, 30. Man, those were extra hard today. Well, anyways, good workout. Must be tired from the dips. There you go. Can you see my hand? There we are. You see this cat? This cat is ruthless. And this cat wants you to have a good workout too. Otherwise, she'll come to your house and drop a deuce right in your yard. Ain't that right, you little monster?